We have some crazy, major, insane breaking news happening right now. The latest happening at this moment is there has been now another shooting of an individual by a federal agent in Pima County, Arizona. And we're unsure of the circumstances of the shooting, but we know the individual who's the victim has been transported by helicopter to a nearby trauma center, is described as being in critical condition. And that's really all we know about it right now, other than the FBI is assisting local law enforcement with the investigation into this. We don't know if the victim is a citizen, an immigrant, or what the situation is involving this shooting. But here we are, another day in America, another individual shot using deadly force by a federal agent. And this is from U.S. Border Patrol. So it was a Border Patrol agent that shot this person, not an ICE agent. But they're all under DHS. If you guys are watching, give me a like here. Let's get this sent out there to more people. Get some more people on here. If you like the lives, it helps send it out to more people. So I'd really appreciate it. Let me know what you guys are thinking about things in the comments, and let's have a discussion, because this is truly insane that this is happening again just 3 days after the deadly shooting of Alex Preddy in Minneapolis. Um, there is no sign that things are going to slow down with this. Sure, Greg Bovino has been demoted and being shipped out, but Tom Homan is coming in, and I don't know who's worse, to be honest. So things are not looking to calm down there at all, even though Melania Trump put out a statement calling for peaceful protesting and unity. But it's hard to find unity when we have these aggressive ICE actions taking place. And to me, I feel like she just did that because this is all interfering with her documentary coming out this Friday. I think that's how selfish she is. But I think she does hold a lot of influence over the president. So I think what she says holds a lot of weight. So I think that's why we have maybe seen a little bit of a shift. There's also disastrous polling coming out for Trump, some of the worst polling he's seen. A vast majority of Americans are against these aggressive ICE enforcement actions. That's just a fact at this point. I was just hearing that impeachment proceedings are ramping up and moving forward against Kristi Noem. Trump just told reporters as he was boarding Air Force One heading to Iowa that he has full faith in Kristi Noem. He was asked if he's going to ask her to resign. He said no, just no. So she is going to remain in her position. A lot of people thought that wouldn't be the case this morning, but she is going to remain as the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. And I think the only way we're going to see her leave is if she resigns because of the mounting pressure, or if she is impeached. So the impeachment resolution is gaining signatures, and that's looking like that could move forward here soon. I'll have to check the exact signature count where it's at now, but Republicans are starting to defect. And part of the reason for that is Trump also said, as he was boarding his airplane, to reporters that he thinks there shouldn't be any guns at protests. He said no guns at protests. Well, that completely contradicts the Second Amendment. He's basically now violating the Constitution again, suggesting that you shouldn't have a right to a firearm at a peaceful protest, even if you have it permitted to conceal and carry. If you're legally carrying one, he thinks there should be no guns at peaceful protests. Well, I think the NRA has something to say about that, and so do a lot of his supporters. I mean, what support he has left has to be a lot of people very passionate about the Second Amendment rights. I mean, this is what Kyle Rittenhouse did. He carried legally an assault rifle to a peaceful protest, killed 2 people, shot another, and was acquitted because he was legally carrying a firearm and used it in self-defense. Trump's saying that's not allowed now. This is a problem for him. He's got a major Second Amendment problem. There's going to be a lot of hardcore conservative Republicans having a major problem with that also. So he's just getting hit from all angles right now. And we've also got India doing a major trade deal with the European Union today. So they killed the trade deal with the United States because Trump was threatening to take Greenland and, allied sovereign territory. And then they turned and did a deal with India. So that's a major blow also. We also have to keep our eyes on who is looking to sell treasury bonds. We could be facing major financial crisis here and economic crisis in the United States here soon based on the actions and the failed leadership Trump is taking. They even clicked the doomsday clock forward today, citing failed leadership across the globe. Most of this due to Trump. So it's never been as close as it is today. So we'll see what happens here going forward, but we're hoping to get more details about the shooting in Arizona really soon. We know we can't trust whatever DHS puts out since they've lied about Alex Preddy, they've lied about Renee Good. So whatever comes out from them, we have to question and scrutinize and verify because they just lie. This is where we're at now. Trust in government is at an all-time low. The other thing that's happened is we learned that Alex Preddy had a previous encounter about a week prior to his murder and with ICE agents. And this encounter left him with a broken rib as he was tackled by ICE agents after he was peacefully protesting them conducting enforcement action against a family that was trying to flee them. Now, I'm not sure of details about this family, if children were involved, minors, but this is all coming from CNN. They had the reporting on this, but he was trying to defend a family. When he was shot, he was trying to defend a woman. This guy was just out there to help people, and he was not there trying to cause as much harm as possible as this Trump administration is trying to make everyone believe with this false narrative. That's simply not the case. We've all seen the video. We know that's not what happened. And he was put into their database after this previous encounter, this massive database they're creating of people that protest them, that encounter them. And that's where this information has come from. It was from the ICE database that they had created. And, this is a scary thing. We're in a massive police state, surveillance state right now. That's where we're at. It's centered in Minnesota at the moment, but this is going to be happening everywhere. And they're using big tech and AI to power this. And that's why when we see ICE agents going around taking photos of everyone, that's what they're doing. They're putting you in a database. So it might be time for everyone to mask up like these ICE agents. Especially if you're going to go out there and be a legal observer or peacefully protest. So that's all kind of disturbing, learning about this previous encounter that he had with them. Perhaps that's why he had a gun with him the next time he went out there. And his previous encounter, he saw what they were doing and exited his vehicle and started recording them and protesting them. It wasn't like he had planned to be there to do that. He was just en route doing his daily activities, encountered this, and felt the need to try and help people and respond and do something with whatever he can. He didn't violently attack them. He was basically gained up on because they didn't like he was recording their activities. So, yeah, that's more to that story. That gives a lot more context to things. But what's the most absurd thing of it all is that we still don't know who pulled the trigger against Alex Preddy, who those individuals were. No one's been arrested. We know they're still on active duty, according to Greg Bovino, but they've been transferred out of Minneapolis to somewhere else. So these murderers are working, conducting enforcement actions for immigration in another city somewhere, and we have no idea who they are. And they cited they can't release that because of doxing. Well, these people need to be held accountable, and they should be put on leave. But that's not happening. They don't care, and they're just going to keep at it. Uh, U.S. Customs and Border Patrol and Immigration has been given access to Fort Snelling, which is near the Minneapolis St. Paul Airport. It's a decommissioned Army base that they now have access to and are operating out of. It can house hundreds of agents, house vehicles, supplies. They're just using this now. It sounds like as their hub. Pete Hegseth granted them access to it today. So they're moving in there, and I imagine they had to move there because people keep finding out where they're staying at hotels, and the hotels are facing protests. People are showing up. We know that there have been some violent protests that turned into riots at some of these hotels. Um, so they probably just feel like they can no longer stay at the hotels. So they're going to this military base now. And it sounds like that's where most of them will be staying. So we'll see if we get more details on that, but that's a huge development there. It's a sign that things are not going to slow down, that they might in fact ramp up because now with this base, they have more capacity. So guys, we'll see what happens here. Let's see. Then there's the story of Keith Porter Jr., who was a U.S. citizen, African American, who was shot and killed by an off-duty ICE agent on New Year's Eve. Now, Keith Porter went and did something that is not legal, and I'm highly against. And he went and fired off his firearm into the air to rein in the new year, and that's something that no one should be doing because the bullets do come down eventually. And I've had friends that found a bullet shooting through the dash of their car on July 4th, driving down the 10 freeway in LA, and just blew through their car, knocked out their car, and the bullet was found in the wife's purse. Just it was sitting between her legs on the floor in the passenger seat. So it's very dangerous for people to shoot guns into the air because the bullets do come down. They don't just go off into space or anything. They come down and they're dangerous, and it could seriously harm or even kill someone. So he did that, but that would just lead to some sort of infraction, arrest, and is not something that results in the death penalty. And this ICE agent who was off duty decided to be the judge, jury, and executioner and confronted Keith Porter and shot him dead outside his apartment building where this ICE agent apparently also lived. And this person has not faced any accountability, has not been arrested. They're still investigating. The family is calling for an investigation into this. They're furious. He had left behind 2 daughters. So this is just another tragic event that really isn't getting the news coverage that everything else is getting because there is no video of it. There's no video footage of this, just witness testimony to corroborate things. And the family is demanding answers and accountability. So again, no video footage, no charges filed, no accountability for this person murdered by an off-duty ICE agent. I'm sorry, but when you're a federal agent and off-duty and you murder someone, I don't think that falls under this immunity argument that they're saying they have. He wasn't conducting enforcement actions. This guy just took matters into his own hands, and that's what happened, another death, and it doesn't seem like there was any gunfire exchanged, and that's based off the forensic evidence. There were no other shell casings from Keith Porter. So, yeah, we need more people talking about that. There are some celebrities talking about this. This incident happened in Northridge in the Valley area. So, yeah, definitely something very serious. And this ICE agent has been defended by U.S. Customs and Border Patrol and DHS and all that, and they're defending his actions, saying he took actions to defend himself for fear of his life. The thing we've been hearing over and over again in all of these aggressive, deadly encounters by federal agents. So we've got the other thing also going now of TikTok. What's going on with TikTok? Everyone's having issues. They're censoring people, maybe. We don't know. It's just the timing is interesting that all these issues are happening when the new ownership has taken over, the Trump aligned ownership. And there's proof now that anything using the word, containing the word Epstein is being censored on there. Anti ICE is being censored now on TikTok. So uh, it's inconsistent, it seems. Things still aren't operating normally. They're officially blaming a power outage at one of their US data centers that they're saying caused a cascading effect throughout the entire platform. And they're still working to fully resolve it. So we're not sure what that really means. Analytics still are not up and running properly. So, we don't know if we're being censored or if it is just an error. I guess time will tell. But Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, is investigating them to see if they are breaking any state laws with these censorship uh, tools they're possibly using, flagging certain words. Um, so we'll see. We'll see if anything comes of that, and if they did in fact violate any state laws, what Gavin Newsom decides to do with that. Perhaps maybe the threat of an investigation, if this is indeed what they're doing and it's not an error, will get them to maybe stop. Time will tell, but you know, it's privately owned now. I mean, it was before, but it's privately owned by this U.S. group of Trump-aligned investors, and it's not run by the government. So it doesn't all fall under free speech. So they can technically create their own new community guidelines and censor whatever it is they want. If they don't want like what you're saying on their platform, they can remove it. So that's where we're at now on that one, and that's why it's so important right now for Substack to be around. And I think this is going to be the platform that most people will end up landing to in the end. Uh, so it's got so many great features. I find it to be way more dynamic, way better than TikTok because you can do posts, you can just write texts, you can do um, chats with your subscribers, you can um, without having to do like a live video. You can write newsletters, articles, and the video side of it has gotten infinitely better. Now, I wish there were some more features in this live, but it's still pretty good. It's still pretty good there. And for creators, some of its automated features are fantastic. The best I've seen anywhere. So I think Substack has a very bright future going forward. And I think we're going to see a lot more creators journey over to this platform. Um, but yeah, that's the main rundown of the news going on right now, unless there's anything else breaking at the moment. Trying to see if there's anything more going on with this incident in Arizona. Hopefully we get more here soon on that. Let's see. Yeah, nothing totally new on that just yet. Here's a local news story. The person is in critical condition. It took place in southern Pima County around 7:30 a.m. That's according to a news release by the Santa Rita Fire District. Um, no one knows exactly yet what took place before the shooting. Um, and we also don't know if any law enforcement officers have been injured in this incident yet. We do not know that. Um, let's see. No word yet from DHS regarding this, and nothing from the FBI regarding the investigation or local investigators there. So be sure to check back later as we get updates on this. We'll be reporting on it. Again, like this live, and it'll help send it out there. They'll send it to more people. We can get more people on here. Anyone have any thoughts on anything right now? I haven't really seen anyone comment on this yet. Um, but I really appreciate you guys all joining to get the latest news update here. Uh, let's see. Trying to see what else is possibly happening. Um, yeah, and regarding the takeover by federal agents of Fort Snelling in Minneapolis, uh, this will allow them to have capacity to deploy 2,000 federal agents to the Minneapolis area. And again, they're saying they're doing this to target fraud, and that's not what they're doing. Trump has blamed the massive amounts of fraud. He's blamed the protests. Oh, he's saying they're happening due to the massive amounts of fraud, which is completely absurd. People are protesting because they're being terrorized by federal agents. They're being asked for papers to prove their citizenship, just traveling to work. They're going door to door. I mean, they're searching for people entering private residences with administrative warrants just signed by a federal agent, not by a judge, which you can't do. You can only approach someone and detain them in public spaces with that. You cannot enter someone's home without a judicial warrant. So we're just facing a totally lawless agency here that's just going to do whatever they want with zero accountability. Uh, no arrest in Renee Good's murder, no arrest in Alex Preddy's murder, no arrest in Keith Porter Jr.'s murder. And now we'll see what the deal is later today on this shooting of the individual in Arizona. And, pray that this individual lives through the wounds he sustained. We have no idea what those are. All we know that it's serious as they are in critical condition. So, yeah, I mean, if this individual passes away as a result of this, I don't know. Arizona wasn't expecting anything like this to happen there. Granted, they're a border state and deal with these things, regularly. Again, we're not sure of any circumstances regarding this, what happened. So we need those details, and we don't know if there's any video yet of what happened there or anything. So that's all to come here soon. Um, we'll see if uh, DHS or the FBI releases any more video regarding Alex Preddy, because we know he was recording everything with his own cell phone. We've not seen that yet, and we are being told that they have body cam footage that agents were wearing, and we have not seen any of that yet. Um, so I think they're going to be forced to release some of this, but again, none of it is going to help them. None of it's going to help paint their false narrative they've been saying about it all. So I'm not sure if they'll release that anytime soon, because it just doesn't help their case at all. They've been trying to make by lying to the American public. But how's everyone feel about things right now in this country? Anyone want to comment?
I see. Nagpipilitan pa lang ako, naisipan, water.
I find it funny too that Trump is going to Iowa to tout his economic achievements, which I'm still trying to figure out what those are. uh, he's going to talk about affordability, which I find funny considering just weeks ago he's been calling it a Democratic hoax. Affordability is just a big hoax. It's fake. The economy is great. Everything's affordable. But it's so unaffordable that he feels he needs to try and lower interest rates for a year on credit cards. So, you know, he kind of shoots himself in the foot at every turn. Um, but yeah, I think his biggest problem right now and why we're seeing the major divide in the Republican Party, and I think this could eventually push enough people away to maybe get him impeached, possibly before the midterms even, because a lot of these Republicans running are relying on those hardcore Second Amendment gun rights voters. They need them. And when he's undermining that, saying, you shouldn't be able to bring guns you can carry legally to protest, to peaceful protests, he's got a major problem there with those people. Um, and those are voters they can rely on. And if they can now no longer rely on those voters, they've got major, major problems on their hands. And no amount of election rigging, gerrymandering, changing the postmark dates, anything like that is going to save them from that situation. And that could push people over the edge here. Um, so we'll have to see. He's going to be speaking again here soon. So try and get some updates on that when he's in Iowa. But the last time he traveled somewhere to Michigan, someone yelled at him and called him a pedo protector, and that didn't go well. He gave the bird, and that blew up in his face. So we'll see if we have any more courageous Americans in Iowa. I mean, a state that he's had to bail out with farmers because of his terrible policies again. You'd think you'd learn from your first term. He doesn't learn. He does the same thing or worse and has to have the taxpayers bail out farmers in Iowa. So I don't know what he could possibly say to them that would be encouraging or positive. So it'll probably just be his whole usual spiel that he usually does, and he'll blame everything on the radical left. Can always go do that. He'll blame it all on transgender for everyone, which accounts for less than 1% of the total population. And now, statistically, you're more likely to be shot by a federal agent than you are to compete against a transgender person in a sport. How sad is that? So this is where we're at in America, everyone. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. I appreciate you all joining my live. I'm going to be doing many more of these, especially here on Substack. And you can look for them also on YouTube. And we'll see what the hell happens with TikTok, if that's going to be a place we can still report truthful news on anymore. Because right now, it appears that they might be suppressing fact-based news. So that's a sad day here for that app and for free speech and the free press. So we'll see what happens there, but I feel like we're all safe here on Substack for now. So keep checking back for updates on things, and I'll see you back here for the 411.